ألم يأن للذين آمنوا أن تخشع قلوبهم لذكر الله وما نزل من الحق.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين وبه نستعين على أمور الدنيا والدين وصلى الله وسلم على سيدنا محمد خاتم النبيين وآله وصحبه أجمعين ولا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم. Today, inshallah ta'ala, we start at ayat number 226 from Surah Al-Baqarah. First, before we start, actually, I wanted to thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for our young men, alhamdulillah, who've been taking the burden of leading the Salat al-Taraweeh. May Allah bless them and preserve them and keep them amongst us. Allah, it's not as easy as they make it look, alhamdulillah. You know, from amongst the people we know, even here in this city, there's only maybe one or two masajid that are doing an actual Khadr of the Quran, finishing the whole Quran this month of Ramadan. And alhamdulillah, we're one of those messages that were blessed to be able to finish the whole Quran. Inshallah, we'll finish tomorrow. But again, we should make dua for these young men. Ask Allah to bless them, to give them the good in this dunya and the akhirah, because the job that they took on is not an easy one. And some of them, alhamdulillah, they go to school, come back from school, come, lead salat, they're up all night. Alhamdulillah, may Allah bless them. Also, from the spirit of thankfulness, we want to thank our ladies as well. May Allah bless them. They have over-exerted themselves, alhamdulillah, to make sure that we eat well, we have tea every night, we have coffee every night. And then not only that, they give what's in their pockets, alhamdulillah. The young ladies and, you know, from the students, from the parents, from everyone, alhamdulillah, they dug in their pockets and they came up with a nice sum, alhamdulillah, to support the masjid, to support the da'wah. May Allah bless them. You know, that's what it means to be a community, that everyone is putting in their fair share. The men are doing what they have to do, the ladies are doing what they have to do, and that's the way that we'll be able to continue to benefit ourselves and benefit those around us. Everyone has to put in their fair share. It can't be a job where just one person is doing everything. It's impossible. Everyone has to bear their burden to the best of what they can do to help the community. So may Allah bless you all, and I'm very honored to be amongst you all and to share my small portion, as much as I can share, inshallah ta'ala. And we ask Allah ta'ala again to bless you all. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He mentions this next section that we come into actually in the Quran is one of the sections that show, in Baqara at least, that show the women's rights, right? The women are always concerned, and they think that, unfortunately, some women, they believe that America gave them rights, when in reality Islam gave them rights 1400 plus years ago. Right? In reality, America did not give rights to women until the last 40 years or so. And still today, we know, we hear about what they call the glass ceiling, where women don't get the same pay for the same job that a man gets. So no, America doesn't honor and give the rights to the women the way that they claim. Rather, they use them. They make them the means of their advertisements, so they can sell their products. They exploit them. But Islam, alhamdulillah, has honored the woman. The Muslim woman should know that she's honored in Islam. She's a protected member of society, not something to just be desired and used and abused as a person wants. So these next few ayat, they show and illustrate how Islam protects the woman in one of the most sacred relationships that happen in Islam, which is the relationship of marriage. So Allah Ta'ala begins by saying, لِلَّذِينَ يُؤْلُونَ مِن نِّسَائِهِمْ تَرَبُّصُ أَرْبَعَةِ أَشْهُرٍ. That the one who swears that he's not going to be intimate with his wife, he has a limit of up to 4 months. فَإِنْ فَاءُوا فَإِنَّ اللَّهَ غَفُورٌ رَحِيمٌ. And if he returns and takes her back, then Allah is the one who forgives and the most merciful. So this ayat was revealed because before Islam, whenever a woman would not give her husband something that he wanted from her, regardless what it was, he would swear to her, oh, you know what? I won't be with you. You won't be my wife. I won't be with you in a manner that a husband is with his wife. So they would swear like this, and they would leave the woman just sitting there. They wouldn't divorce her, right? So she can go marry somebody else. But at the same time, they wouldn't treat her as a wife's supposed to be treated. So she would be in limbo, right? Because she didn't respond to him in a way that he felt that she should have responded. So they would do this for leaving her like this for a year or 2 or 3, 4 years sometimes. And she can't remarry, and she's just sitting there in pain and agony, being treated like a forgotten piece of trash, right? So Islam came, alhamdulillah, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed that the person who does this, they can only do this for up to 4 months. After 4 months, he has to either divorce her or take her back. He has to either do one of the two. He can't just leave her in limbo, because the woman, subhanAllah, has emotions and she has rights. She's a human being, not just anything to be treated how the man wants to be treated or wants to treat her. So Allah said, no, you can't do this to the woman. Either you treat her as a wife or you let her go. You're not going to imprison her against her will because you didn't get what you wanted. Because of course the man is stronger than a woman, physically, right? So sometimes he gets his way and he tries to move his will and do whatever he wants to do, especially if that girl doesn't have big brothers, right? Or she doesn't have men that are around her that's willing to go take care of that situation and help her out. Which we have to remember also that this is important. That if the man does do this, it's upon the woman to do what? Notify her menfolk. If he swears and says, oh, I'm not going to be with you like that, she's supposed to go tell her brother, father, uncle, whatever, the Imam of the masjid, listen, he said it on this day, right? So then that way the people start counting. Okay, once 4 months is over, they say, yo, what happened? Are you going to take her back or not? If he's still talking, okay, then listen, she's done. We're going to separate you for it since you're playing games. You don't know what you want to do yet, right? So again, it's so that the people don't play games with the hearts and the emotions and the lives of these young ladies. And Allah says, وَإِنْ عَزَمُوا الطَّلَاقَ فَإِنَّ اللَّهَ سَمِيعٌ عَلِيمٌ. But if the person is determined upon divorcing her, then Allah knows this and is all aware. So if you're going to divorce her and you're not going to take her back, no problem. But don't imprison her. وَالْمُطَلَّقَاتُ يَتَرَبَّصْنَ بِأَنفُسِهِنَّ ثلاثة قروء ولا يحل لهن أن يكتمن ما خلق الله في أرحامهن إن كن يؤمن بالله واليوم الآخر وبعولتهن أحق بردهن في ذلك إن أرادوا إصلاحا ولهن مثل الذي عليهن بالمعروف وللرجال عليهن درجة والله عزيز حكيم. This next ayat, Allah Ta'ala says, for the one who has been divorced, the woman who has been divorced, right? Because in Islam we know there's no such thing as a mutallaq, a man that's been divorced. The man doesn't get divorced in Islam. Either he gives the divorce or he doesn't become a divorcee. Right? Oh, I'm a divorcee. No such thing like this in Islam. The woman gets divorced, right? For whatever the reason might be, the divorce is in the hands of the man. And that shows us men something, that we have to be serious about what's in our hands. Right? Just because divorce is in the hands of the man doesn't mean he goes around throwing it everywhere like a basketball. Whoa, I divorced you today. No. So Allah is going to show why, how the men are supposed to be serious with this matter of divorce that Allah placed in their hands. And Allah placed it in their hands because what? The man is expected to be responsible. He's expected to not work off his emotions, but to look at the situation properly with wisdom and say, what is the reason that I'm going to make this step or not make this step? So Allah says, وَالْمُطَلَّقَاتُ يَتَرَبَّصْنَ بِأَنفُسِهِنَّ ثَلَاثَةَ قُرُوءٍ. That the one who has been divorced, she's the wait, right? She's the wait for what? To remarry or to be completely separated from this person. 3 periods or 3 clean times, right? The ulama differ about which one. It's not time to go into that. Whether it's the Khadr is going to be 3 times that she has her period, or is it going to be 3 times that she's become clean in between periods? Either way, 3 of these, right? Sometimes it is 3 months. But now we learn something also. This is not counted on the, what's this thing called? Solar calendar, or the Kafir calendar. It's counted on the Islamic lunar calendar. Allah says then, and this reason that this ayah was revealed, because again, before Islam, the woman had no rights. A man would divorce her and she wouldn't have any iddah. There would be no time. And they would either just keep her in limbo, or she would go and remarry right after she got divorced. Right after, she doesn't know if she's pregnant or what. So Allah said, no, it has to wait three qurub. Then Allah says, وَلَا يَحِلُّ لَهُنَّ أَن يَكْتُمْنَ مَا خَلَقَ اللَّهُ فِي أَرْحَامِهِنَّ. And it is not permissible, it is not okay, it is not allowed for a woman to conceal what Allah has created in her womb. Either, and the ulama say there's some reasons that a woman would want to conceal. Right? She doesn't want to tell him that she's pregnant if she's become pregnant once he divorced her. Either because she doesn't like this guy, so she wants to get out of there. So she doesn't tell him that she's pregnant so that she doesn't have to stay around him. So she's all nothing. Or maybe she wants to marry somebody else. So she wants the child to be attributed to this other person that she wants to marry. Or the woman, she doesn't tell him that she had a period because she wants to stay in the situation longer, which is the opposite. So she's like, oh, did you have a period? No, I didn't have, no. Because she likes this guy maybe, and she wants to stay. So she doesn't tell. But either way, Allah is telling us that you have to be upfront. If you have a period or if you're pregnant, whichever which way situation it is, the lady has to make it known. I had a period today, or I'm pregnant. It has to be made known. It's not permissible. And this is if she believes in Allah on the last day. Because the one who believes in Allah on the last day is not going to be a cheater. Not going to be deceiving the people, right? Saying, oh, I don't know, I didn't see nothing, right? No, she's going to make it known so that these things can be taken care of and properly handled. Allah says, وَبُعُولَتُهُنَّ أَحَقُّ بِرَدِّهِنَّ فِي ذَلِكَ إِنْ أَرَادُوا إِصْلَاحًا. And the husband has more right to take her back in that situation if he desires to rectify the situation. If he desires to rectify, he should take her back while she's in her iddah. Take her back. Don't let her go marry someone. Then you say, oh, I really loved her. No, while you have the opportunity, rectify the situation and take the woman back before it becomes too late. وَلَهُنَّ مِثْلُ الَّذِي عَلَيْهِنَّ بِالْمَعْرُوفِ. And for the women, there are rights. And we have to remember this. وَلَهُنَّ مِثْلُ الَّذِي عَلَيْهِنَّ بِالْمَعْرُوفِ. For the woman, there's rights, right? For the woman, there's similar rights that are obligations like there is upon the man. For her, she has rights too. So it's not just like in a situation where the man gets to do whatever he wants to do and the woman has no rights. And that's why we say it's very important before the young men and the young ladies get married that they learn what it means to be married in Islam. They learn the rights, the fiqh of marriage in Islam, right? You shouldn't jump into any action in Islam if you don't know the fiqh of it. How to do it. Otherwise, you're going to become sinful and don't even know that you're sinful. So before the young men become married, they should learn to a competent degree how or what are the rights that are obligated upon them in marriage. What is the fiqh of marriage? How to marry? How to divorce if need be. As well, the women should know so they know their rights. And what is incumbent upon them to do. And what they don't have to do, or what the man should be doing, so that everyone has knowledge of what they're supposed to be doing. Knowledge brings safety in the situation. وَلِلْرِجَالِ عَلَيْهِنَّ دَرَجَةً. But for the men, there's a higher, superior level over the women, right? In regards to their rights in a marriage. And for those who don't know, majority of the reason that the man has more rights at times in the marriage over the woman is because of what? الرجال قوامون على النساء بما فضل الله. Because of what they spend over them, right? Because Allah has given them virtue over them, and because the man takes care of the situation. Normally, right? Normally, the way that a marriage happens is that the man takes care of the woman. So because he takes care of her, of course, she should have more thanks to him, be more gracious to him, be in his service more, because he's going out there every day, struggling. Some people working 2-3 factory jobs, right? To make sure that she's okay. And then he protects her. These are some of the things that are incumbent upon the man to do. And sometimes we don't see that happen today. That the man is fully able to have a job and he sits at home all day. And then expects his wife to come home, cook me, you didn't cook me any dinner. She just was at work all day long. You were at home chilling, talking on the phone, visiting friends. Able, we're not talking about someone that doesn't have a disability. We're talking about a strong-bodied young man. Doesn't want to work. His wife is going to work struggling. Then he expects food. Then he expects his other rights. It's backwards. It's not Islam. That's not how Islam looks at marriage. The man goes out every day to earn his bread, right? The man should be going out every day, right? Or Monday through Friday, whatever it might be, to make sure he earns the money to be able to take care of what has to be taken care of. Whether he has to pay their rent. Men are not supposed to be at home. It's not normal for men to be in the home. Even I'm telling you young boys, you should get that through your head now. It's not normal for men to be sitting at home all day. Do you understand that? You need to go out through the earth and figure out how you're going to make a living. What are you going to do? See what's happening. How can you make your way? You shouldn't be sitting at home playing PlayStation all day. Xbox 360 and all these different things. These things have been put into your houses to make you effeminate, to make you sit at home. It's never been known for men to sit at home all day. But now you guys think it's the coolest thing to be at home all day in your bedroom, right? Playing games. Don't have any skills. Don't even know how to go outside and climb a tree. Seriously. So it's a problem. We got to get out of that habit. If you don't, even if you don't go, you got to go to the masjid 5 times a day, but get out the house. Leave the women some time to be women and just breathe. If you hang out with the women all day long, guess what happens? You start acting like them. You become soft. You say, what's wrong with that guy always crying? You know, he's around the ladies all day. So he starts to act like he takes on their characteristics. Seriously. So the men have rights over the women because of them taking care of them, providing for them, sustaining them, not just because he has a name that says he's a man. Right? Not just because his name says, I'm a man, but because he acts like a man. That's why Allah gave him these rights. Allah says, Wallahu Azizun Hakim. Allah is the one who is wise and almighty. And Allah, he begins, he says, الطلاق مرتان فإمساك بمعروف أو تسريح بإحسان ولا يحل لكم أن تأخذوا مما آتيتموهن شيئا إلا أن يخافا ألا يقيما حدود الله فإن خفتم ألا يقيما حدود الله فلا جناح عليهما فيما افتدت به تلك حدود الله فلا تعتدوها ومن يتعد حدود الله فأولئك هم الظالمون. Allah, he says, divorce happens twice. Islamically, you can only divorce the woman with the right to take her back twice. Right? Again, this ayat was revealed because some of the Arabs before, they would divorce the lady 500 times, 100 times. Every time they get upset, I divorce you, get away from me. Right? Then they take her back later on. Okay, come back, come back. Yeah, seriously. The Arabs, they were different with their women. May Allah guide us. So Islam came and said, you can't do that because a divorced woman, emotionally it hurts them. You divorce her, then you take her back, you divorce her, you take her back. No, Islam's twice is the limit you can do this. If you do it a third time, it's over. Talaq ba'in, can't take her back. Unless you do something that most men don't ever want to have to do with a woman that they want to take back. And you let her marry somebody else. That's like a red line for most men, right? Huh? Yeah. You say, oh man, she has to marry somebody else just to get me back? Oh, you're ready to lose your mind. And then not just marry them, she has to be with, subhanAllah. So Allah teaches us, stop playing games. Don't just throw that divorce ball around if you're not serious. As some of the Mashayikh, they say, talaq is supposed to make you smile. If you don't smile at the divorce, then you wasn't serious when you gave the divorce. Right? So Allah Ta'ala says, الطلاق مرتان فإمساك بمعروف أو تسريح بإحسان. So if you keep them in that which is good. Right? Hold on to them properly. Ma'rufin, by that which is considered and known to be good amongst the people. Treat her nice. أو تسريح بإحسان, or let her go in kindness. Let her go and treat her good. Okay, listen, this is not working. Let me let you go. You go, yeah, maybe you'll find somebody that works better for you, but let me let you go in kindness, not in arguing and fighting and all this. Just go, mashallah, may Allah bless you. We're okay, no problem. But this is not working. This relationship is not working. Then Allah says, وَلَا يَحِلُّ لَكُمْ أَن تَأْخُذُوا مِمَّا آتَيْتُمُوهُنَّ شَيْئًا. Right? We stop here because there's a different asbab nuzul. Allah says it's not permissible for you to take what you have given them from take anything that you have given from them. All right? Some of the people before, amongst the Arabs, inshallah, not us, when they would give the woman some money or something like that for her mahar, then they would go and take it later. Now, give me that back. Let me get some, I need some money right now. Allah says, you can't do that. That's hers. Now, if she wants to give you some, that's different. But they were just going like, yo, listen, I gave you, whatever that mahar, I gave you too much maybe. I need some of that back. No, you can't do that. When you give the woman the mahar, you give her marital gift, you gave it, mashallah. But Allah makes an exception to that general rule. Can't take anything back from them. إِلَّا أَن يَخَافَ أَلَّا يُقِيمَ حُدُودَ اللَّهِ. Except if the two of them fear that they're not going to be able to maintain the limits of Allah. The woman fears she's not going to be able to give the rights to the husband that he deserves, or the husband feels the other way likewise. And this happened during the time of the Prophet ﷺ. This is talking about what's known as a khud'ah, right? A woman came to the Prophet ﷺ and said, Ya Rasulullah, I don't have no problem with him. It's not that he's ugly. It's not that I have a problem with his deen. But I just fear something about our situation where I don't feel I can give him his rights. She said, I don't have no problem with his Khadr or with his deen. So the Prophet ﷺ said, okay, where's the gardens that he gave you? Give them back to him. So she bought her freedom from the marriage. She paid a ransom to free herself from the marriage. And the man accepted it. And there's a benefit here. Why? Because the man normally is more monetarily invested in the relationship. Normally. The man is more monetarily invested in the relationship. So if the woman just says, oh, I want to get out. He didn't spend all this time, just furnished the whole house, bought a car, moved everything. Then she said, I want out. He's like, well, subhanAllah. I spent all this money. What am I going to do? So she has to pay to get out of that situation. So that he gets some of what he gave to her back, or whatever he might feel is necessary to compensate his loss. And Allah says, فَلَا جُنَاحَ عَلَيْهِمَا فِي مَا افْتَدَتْ بِهِ. There's no harm upon them too if she is to pay a ransom to free herself. تِلْكَ حُدُودُ اللَّهِ فَلَا تَعْتَدُوهَا. These are the limits of Allah, so don't transgress them. وَمَنْ يَتَعَدَّ حُدُودَ اللَّهِ فَأُولَٰئِكَ هُمُ الظَّالِمُونَ. And whoever transgresses the limits of Allah, then he is a wrongdoer. But Allah, He mentions the punishment, or He mentions the impediment, the blocker, that will make people not want to just be so easy to divorce a woman that they really want. Allah, He mentions in the next ayah, فَإِنْ طَلَّقَهَا فَلَا تَحِلُّ لَهُ مِنْ بَعْدِ حَتَّى تَنْكِحَ زَوْجًا غَيْرَهُ. Allah says if he divorced her twice, then he divorced her a third time, that she is not permissible for him. He can't take her back until after she marries another man besides her. So this is a person that he liked her a lot, loved her maybe, and he just got mad and he said, I divorce you. Working off of his emotions. And then he took her back. Oh, I didn't mean it. Then he got mad again. I divorce you. Then he took her back. I didn't mean it. Then he got mad again and said, I divorce you. He can't take her back. It's too many plays. You did enough already. Now, the only way that he'll ever be able to have her back again is if after he divorced her, she marries somebody else. Right? Now, again, most men are not going to want to deal with that. So this is something that's placed in front of the men to make them think about what they're doing, to protect the rights of the lady. So again, this happened during the time of the Prophet ﷺ, that a lady was married to a man and he divorced her, a final divorce. So that she got married to another man after him, radiallahu anhum. And when she got married to this other man, she came to the Prophet ﷺ and said, Ya Rasulullah, I don't want to be with him anymore. So the Prophet ﷺ asked her a serious question. Were you two alone together? Did you two experience each other? This is real. The deen is serious. No shyness in the deen. These things have to be questioned into. Especially most of you guys are marriageable age. None of you guys are under the age of marriage for the most part. So you should know these things. So he said, were you with this person? Were you with your husband? And she said, she made up an excuse and said some type of, made an excuse about him. We don't want to say it right now, right? But she made up an excuse about him, like, said he had a defect. So the Prophet ﷺ said, no, you want to go back to your other husband. I know what's going on here. So then she said, yes. He said, no, not until you two experience each other fully. That's the reality of Islam. Can't just play games. Can't just play games. Allah doesn't allow it. The deen doesn't allow us to just go around playing games. So the Prophet ﷺ didn't grant her the divorce she was looking for in that situation. So that's the rule. Person divorces a lady 3 times, he has to wait till she remarries a person and they have an official, complete marriage. And Allah says, فَلَا جُنَاحَ عَلَيْهِمَا أَن يَتَرَاجَعَا إِن ظَنَّ أَن يُقِيمَ حُدُودَ اللَّهِ. But after that, فَإِن طَلَّقَهَا فَلَا جُنَاحَ عَلَيْهِمَا أَن يَتَرَاجَعَا إِن ظَنَّ أَن يُقِيمَ حُدُودَ اللَّهِ. But there's no problem after he divorced her, if she divorces from that person, right? After completing what necessitates for a marriage to be complete and official. He said there's no problem if you go back and marry her after that. If you guys think that you're going to be able to uphold the laws of Allah. Don't just be playing around, because divorce hurts not just the 2 people, but it hurts the society. It hurts the community. Because marriage is between families, and it's a marriage, is a support for the community. So you don't want to get married just to get divorced. It's not the goal. But it happens. That's why Allah brought so many ayat about divorce and how to do it properly. But that's not the goal. The goal is that hope, inshallah, that they stay together and it becomes fruitful, and there's children that come from this marriage that become supports for the ummah. That's the goal. So you learn something here. Allah brought all these ayats about divorce, right? What do you learn from that? No. What did you say? Huh? Divorce is serious? That's what you learned? Divorce is serious, that's true, but it's something else that you got to think about. Come on, you guys are all marriageable age. Tell me what you should be thinking about. That hadith is not authentic. The most hated thing to Allah is divorce. It's not an authentic hadith. But divorce is not beneficial normally for the community, normally. But actually, since we brought that up, divorce has 5 rules, just like everything in Islam. Sometimes divorce is permissible. Sometimes divorce is makruh, it's disliked. Sometimes divorce is mustahab, it's encouraged that those 2 need to be separated. Sometimes divorce is wajib. Those 2 have to be separated. And sometimes divorce may be haram. Right? Especially on the ladies' side. Never haram on the man's side, no. For the lady, sometimes she might want a divorce for no absolute reason. Anyway, so the thing that we should learn from the seriousness of what Allah talking about divorce so much is what? That you should pick wisely the first time. Pick wisely. Because divorce is real in Islam, right? And Allah talks about it in depth. That means you should take your time thinking about who you want to marry. Don't just jump in because he's handsome or she's pretty. It's not enough. Even though the woman can be married because she's beautiful, it's not enough. Take your time to think about the type of person that you want to be the father of your children. If you're a lady, right? Take time to think about the type of person that you want to be the mother of your children. Because that's what marriage really necessitates. That this person eventually will be the person that's raising my children. Look at their family. This is the family that I'm going to be a part of. And likewise, if you want to bring someone, their family is going to become a part of ours. These things have to be looked at. Don't we know that the Prophet ﷺ forbade Ali radiallahu anhu from marrying one of the chiefs of the kuffar? Marrying the daughter of one of the chiefs of the kuffar. Why? The family of these 2 can't mix. The daughter of the Messenger ﷺ and then the family of one of the enemies of Islam, it's not going to mix well. So marriage is between the 2 families. You have to look at that and pay attention to it. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He mentions, وَإِذَا طَلَقْتُمُ النِّسَاءَ فَبَلَغْنَ أَجَلَهُنَّ فَأَمْسِكُوهُنَّ بِمَعْرُوفٍ أَوْ سَرِّحُوهُنَّ بِمَعْرُوفٍ وَلَا تُمْسِكُوهُنَّ ضِرَارٌ لِتَعْتَدُوا وَمَنْ يَفْعَلْ ذَلِكَ فَقَدْ ظَلَمَ نَفْسَهُ وَلَا تَتَّخِذُوا آيَاتِ اللَّهِ هُزُوًا وَاذْكُرُوا نِعْمَةَ اللَّهِ عَلَيْكُمْ وَمَا أَنزَلَ عَلَيْكُمْ مِنَ الْكِتَابِ وَالْحِكْمَةِ يَعِظُكُمْ بِهِ وَاتَّقُوا اللَّهَ وَاعْلَمُوا أَنَّ اللَّهَ بِكُلِّ شَيْءٍ عَلِيمٌ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He mentions if you divorce the woman and their time period comes, right? They reach their time period. Then you either keep them, meaning that they reach near the end of their iddah, right? Either you keep them in goodness and kindness, or you let them go in goodness and kindness. But Allah says, وَلَا تُمْسِكُوهُنَّ ضِرَارًا, but don't hold them just to cause them some harm, right? Some men, unfortunately, are petty, right? They don't want her to marry somebody else, but they don't really want her either. They're like, oh, I don't want you to marry nobody else ever, 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 but I don't want you either. Which one is it? Let her go and, and live her life too. So sometimes what happened during the time of the Prophet ﷺ, there was a man who he married his wife or he divorced his wife, and every time it became like a day or two before her iddah, he'd take her back. Her iddah ended, he'd take her, okay, come on, all right, come on, let's come back. And then he'll divorce her again, just to prolong the period. That's harmful to the woman. So he'll divorce as soon as he got to like 2-3 days before, he'll take her back. Come on, I'm sorry. I'll take you back. And then he'll do it again. Boom, I divorce you. This is subhanAllah, dragging it out. So Allah prohibited this because again, this is harmful for the lady. And we see here that marriage in Islam is not supposed to be harmful for either party. If it's harmful for the party, this is a marriage that might not need to be continuing. Because there shouldn't be psychological or physical or spiritual harm in the marriage. Remember we spoke about it earlier yesterday, and going back to that again, Islam came to maximize the benefits and minimize the harms. If you're in a situation where the harm outweighs the benefit, then that's not a situation a Muslim is supposed to be in. You understand that? So Allah says, وَلَا تُمْسِكُهُنَّ ضِرَارًا لِتَعْتَدُوا, don't keep them in harm just so that you can transgress. وَمَنْ يَفْعَلْ ذَلِكَ فَقَدْ ظَلَمَ نَفْسَهُ, whoever does that, they've only really hurt their own self. They've oppressed themselves because Allah's going to ask them about this on Yawm al-Qiyamah. وَلَا تَتَّخِذُوا آيَاتِ اللَّهِ هُزُوًا, and don't take the signs and the ayats and the rules of Allah as a joke. Don't play around with the deen of Allah. It's not to be played with. If Allah gave you a law, don't act like the Jews and try to, I'm going to do it just till I'm going to break the law. I'm going to get right to the point where I'm going to break the law, but I'm not going to break it all the way. Right? That's not, you don't play with the deen. The deen is serious. Remember we say this deen is a dane on our necks. You don't want to keep putting more on that dane if you can't handle it. So don't get close to the limits of Allah and say, I'm going to stop right there. Because then most of the time if you do that, you're going to cross the limit. وَاذْكُرُوا نِعْمَةَ اللَّهِ عَلَيْكُمْ وَمَا أَنزَلَ عَلَيْكُمْ مِنَ الْكِتَابِ وَالْحِكْمَةِ يَعِظُكُمْ بِهِ, and remember the blessings or the favors of Allah upon you and what He has sent down to you from the book and the wisdom, so that you might take admonishment from that. So you'll be admonished by those things. وَاتَّقُوا اللَّهِ, and fear Allah. وَاعْلَمُوا أَنَّ اللَّهَ بِكُلِّ شَيْءٍ عَلِيمٌ. Fear Allah and know that Allah is over everything well aware. And that's a very appropriate ayah to mention in regards to marriage. Because marriage is normally one of those things that, what? Nobody really knows what's going on inside of it except the two people. So he might be being physical or spiritual or emotionally damaging to her, or she might be doing similar to him. But Allah knows. Even though most of the people don't, Allah knows what's going on in this situation. وَإِذَا طَلَّقْتُمُ النِّسَاءَ فَبَلَغْنَ أَجَلَهُنَّ فَلَا تَعْضُلُوهُنَّ أَن يَنكِحْنَ أَزْوَاجَهُنَّ إِذَا تَرَاضَوْا بَيْنَهُم بِالْمَعْرُوفِ. So Allah continues, now He's speaking to the guardians of the women, right? Again, the women should have her menfolk involved in the marriage, always, from the beginning to the end. So Allah now is speaking to her relatives, her father, brother, the Imam, whatever it might be. When you divorce the woman, فَبَلَغْنَ أَجْلَهُنَّ, then and they reach their time period of their iddah being over, then don't stop them. Don't prevent them from marrying back their husband after they reach their iddah. Don't prevent them. إِذَا تَرَاضَوْا بَيْنَهُمْ بِالْمَعْرُوفِ. If they're both pleased with that, if they're both pleased with coming back to each other, don't stop it. There's a benefit in them coming back together, perhaps. Don't be the uncle or the father. No, you can't go back. Relax. Don't be the father. No, you can't go back. And there's no shar'i reason to stop it. You just, ذلك يوعظ به من كان يؤمن بالله واليوم الآخر. That is an admonition to them for whoever believes in Allah on the last day, and that is cleaner or more pure for you. وَاللَّهُ يَعْلَمُ وَأَنْتُمْ لَا تَعْلَمُونَ. Allah knows and you all do not know. And we'll stop here, inshallah. And I think maybe they have enough for tomorrow. Inshallah khair. Allah yubarak feekum.
لا يكونوا كالذين أوتوا الكتاب من قبل فطال عليهم الأمد فقست قلوبهم وكثير منهم فاسقون.